Hello everyone, my name is Junwen and I'm here to share with you on how to write Java integration tests while adopting the test-driven development framework. So just to recap, there are three rules of TDD. In summary, before we write any production code, we want to write tests, and these tests we start off by failing them, and we write as minimal code as possible to pass this test. So in this demonstration, I will be illustrating with TDD with two use cases. One is to query for a list of employees based on their department's name, and also to update a particular employee's name based on the employee's ID. So what I have here is a Maven project displayed in. I'm going to edit this project using IDE called the IntelliJ IDEA. Everything is written in Java. This is a Spring Boot app where I'm trying to write a backend microservice. And let's try running. I've written some boilerplate code, and right now my Spring Boot application is starting. Uh, has started on port 8080, and this is my application.properties. I'm utilizing a H2 in-memory database to facilitate the end-to-end testing from a HTTP request all the way to the backend database. And H2 in-memory will be uh, quite easy for me to quick start this testing. So, uh, so without further ado, let me start by writing an integration test file. Maybe I'll name it integration test. So, okay, so I have this file ready. Um, just to highlight, um, I have some libraries already indicated inside my POM file. You can take a look when we share the code repository link. And back to our integration test. So typical this for logging, and I'm still going to use JUnit 4 despite JUnit 5 is saying it's already out. We run with it, and then I'm going to, because this is a integration test, I want to put up a full scale uh, server to test everything from end to end. This is not a this is not a unit test, so I want to have a port which is random, that later I can know how to direct my HTTP request. So I have two cases. Start off based on this query. Just here. So we want to indicate the test first, right? Uh, so okay. Given department name should return employees. This is so. Let's do this. So I like to write this using the AAA framework where I assert one more. It makes my code neater and more readable. So I want to start off by failing this test. Okay, see whether my setup is correct. Let me run it. Okay, so correct. I actually assert false, so that you always fail. But our setup is correct. So what is our and I have not written any production code yet. So what is our logic in finding the employees with a department name? So we definitely uh, should return a department name. So maybe we can call it maybe we call it as K-pop. Maybe this department name is called K-pop. Then I need a employee, right? Okay, so uh, so we are also need the URL. So URL equals to so a typical URL would be say localhost name, right? Name maybe the endpoint I want to have it better one say version 1 API employees, then pass it with the ports. Okay, and then I also want to act on it. So given something I want to maybe I'm using rest assure to actually act on it. Not parent say I want to just name it as the common name. I'll put it as common name. When the so this will be a GET request lah. I think URL. Then there will be not then the status should be 200. Then I want to extract no, I want to extract the response and say the body. Then I want to so the body return should be a JSON. So JSON path. Then it should be a JSON with a list. So I want to get list. So the path should be I'm not going to name the there won't be any path, but employee dot class. Okay, I think I need to create the employee now. It's getting irritating. Okay, so this okay, I'm going to use Lombok to help me extract away all the cattle center as well as the constructor. I can read out more on Lombok. It really help to save a lot of boilerplate codes. So maybe I call it, so there will be a string called department. Okay. Okay, maybe I need a name. This name maybe call name as K-pop maybe C. Okay. Then the department I will call it K-pop. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll change it. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Now plus make it a little bit more readable. So by acting on it, this should give me a list of employee. Okay. And then we need to assert that this result return should contain the employee, right? Okay. Gosh. Okay, so our test should be able to compile, but we will run into some errors. For example, that I haven't written any controller code yet, so you actually should give me a 404. Okay, so it really gives me a 404. There's no compilation error. Okay, so what I need now is I need to write a controller, say employee controller. Yeah, this controller. Maybe I'll do one block. And then finally, oh, I need to request mapping. I need to do the request mapping as well. So previously I named it as API v1, right? Version 1 API. Okay. Actually, I should return a list employee. Employees. Okay, I should get the common name. Maybe I just return a new release for now, okay? So basically, this will help me resolve the 404 error as we run the failed test again. Okay, now I have assertion error instead of 404. Means that we are progressing. Um, so right now we need to return the employee. Okay. Oh wait, just to, you can. I want to verify whether this department is actually being written correctly as K-pop. Oh, sorry. I need to run it. Debug. Debug it. So I have inserted a breakpoint here. So my code will actually stop here. So, okay, I have K-pop. Okay, it means correct. Okay, with that, we need to persist the employee first. So that we need to persist this employee so that we can actually return it when we search for A-Pink. I mean when we search for K-pop. So back to our controller, we need to auto wire say employer employee repository. So this is the repository class. Okay, and repository class are typically interfaces, which we want to extend. Maybe usually I will extend the paging and something where I will extend the employee class and actually employee as long as the ID. So later I need to annotate this as a repository as well. Then notice this long is actually the identifier for employee class. So actually here I also need to make it an entity, then maybe a table. It's going to take out a table in my H2 database. Maybe I'll call it as employees. Then I need private long ID. Okay. Then this I will annotate it as ID generated value. So strategy equals to identity. Okay. Okay, right now, then I need to return repository.find by department, where you will take the department. So this is the JPA way of querying. It helps me by simply by simply indicating parameters, say department inside entity. I can actually use this. JPA will help me query and filter based on department. Okay, so let's go to here. I will need to actually auto wire, say private private call. Okay, employee repository. Then next we're going to persist. We're going to save this employee. But when we save it, there's a ID going to be returned back. So I want the ID later so that we can because when we return the list of employees back, the list will actually contains the ID, and we want to check whether it will contain the same employee. So maybe actually this should work. Yes. So let's run again by inserting breakpoint for me to explain. So basically we actually acted on the URL. This is the URL, and then we send in our department name, which is K-pop, and then the result returned was employee list. They gave us employee with an ID 1, meaning this method works. It is persisted into the database, and then it was returned. And finally, before I'm going to assert it, and by clicking this play button, it will show that it passed. There's no error. So that's the first test case. Let's proceed to the second integration test. Um, we're going to update a particular employee name. So inputs when update employee name given ID should return the employee. Okay, so let me just copy and paste everything here to save some time while adopting the same structure. So we still, instead of a list, we're going to need an employee. So let's clean it up. Maybe we don't need this anymore. Never mind. Keep to it. Employee. And then for URL, we'll actually stick to the same one, but we need the ID of the person that we're going to update. So this should be employee.get_id. Um, so we are not going to pass any parameters. So this should be a put request because we are updating a existing um, employee. And status code should be 200. I'm going to extract the body. Um, class. So this maybe I will rename it as sure. So our met in order will what's the logic behind how can we pass this case? But first of all we will realize that actually this test case and this test case have duplicate code. Basically both are trying to use to save an employee first. So perhaps we can reduce the duplicate by because both test cases are creating, we can create a before method to actually set up the test environment first. So maybe this one. Okay. So this one. So this one. Okay. So I'll globalize it by bringing to the root level, to the parent level. So I make an employee and okay. This one let me accept false first. Oops, sorry. Click the wrong one. I should click the top level so that I can test everything. Because I introduced something quite important. Okay, so my test still pass. My first test still pass. My second test failed because uh that's 404. Okay, that's 404. So same. Oh yeah, we are going to change the employee name. So we also need an employee new name. So new name equals to instead of what was the name given? A pink. Maybe I want SNSD equals maybe equal, and then I'm going to wrap around the expected set requirement exactly. But their department is still going to be K-pop. Okay. So with that, I should okay. And then we now need to resolve this 4 error. So we specified as a put request with path parameter, right? We call this a path variable. This one, okay. And ID. And then we need to return the employee. So the return should be employee, and then let's return nothing first. Return now. Okay, we should not see 404 anymore. Let me rerun the. Okay. Okay, 404 is gone. Right now it's complaining that the JSON return is there's nothing, so you cannot pass as a Bojo. Um, so we need to update it, right? But we need to pass something which is we need to pass the updated employee. Say so this should be updated. Request body. Yeah, I put a breakpoint here to make sure. So in our request, in our action, we actually okay. Let's do this JSON body. We need a JSON. We need to make sure we need to pass our expected employee, right, to as JSON first. So let's use the object mapper. Okay. Let's use mapper dot write value as string. I'm going to write the expected as JSON. This tells me that exception of processing the JSON. So I just add it to the method first. And I will put it into the body of the request. So right now I need to test and see whether our controller gets updated. Oops. It's not fitting this method. There's a null pointer. Shame. Wait a minute. The employee is now. So we are checking why is it now. Employee. Okay, maybe we can call it this use case. Okay. I know. The null pointer is actually equal to this object mapper. So you can take over this. Okay, so yes, we are able to map the body to as a employee project. You can see here. Okay, finally, this test will still fail because there's, there's no result being returned. So with that, we can simply save the updated into it and then return it. And then we should be able to see the actual and compare it with the expected. We're almost there. Okay, our JSON is this. Our actual, our actual result is actually quite, it's the same. So actually this test will pass. Okay, so we have written two integration tests with actually minimal code. You can see in my integration test that is currently, my production code actually do not have the service layer yet. When we improve the service layer, we also need to improve the test case. Yep. So let's try running everything again once more before we conclude. Okay. So we have two ticks, green ticks. Okay, we are done. So thank you everyone. This is it for integration test with TDD. Thank you.